Hello, I'm Christopher Cole, and because I'm recording this in September of 2016, I am the first vice chair of the Pima County Libertarian Party. Were you one of the very small minority that voted to get Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump on the general election ballot? During the primary season, in the caucuses and the primaries, only about 4.5% of the people voted for either Clinton or Trump. 9% total. Now, you'd think that that would mean that they shouldn't be paid attention to. But the news media pays attention to them and basically only them. Gary Johnson, Jill Stein, they don't get reported on that much. And why is that? Well, the news media is a business. And that business requires advertising dollars in order to keep the doors open, pay the utilities, pay the reporters, buy the supplies, whatever. A large chunk, especially during presidential election years, a large chunk of that incoming money comes from the Democrats and the Republicans. The news media, it seems, are afraid of losing that money. Probably with good reason. Probably if they didn't have that money, they'd go bankrupt. A lot of them are going bankrupt anyway. So the news media doesn't tell you about the alternative candidates, even though the alternative candidates probably have a better platform and are more qualified than either of the big parties, the ones I call the dodo parties. And there's another reason. Both the Democrats and the Republicans, they want big government. Republicans say they don't, and yet, when given the opportunity, they expand the government. They take power away from you and give it to all of those bureaucrats. So, the Democrats and the Republicans are ideologically compatible with somebody that wants big government. And every study that's ever been done, at least in the last 50 years, on the attitudes of reporters show a distinct and overwhelming big government bias. So the journalists want big government. They support the two parties that want big government. And so they don't tell you about the alternative candidates, especially Gary Johnson, who wants and will, from experience, make government smaller, give power back to you. They don't report on it. And yet, the word gets out. Approximately 2/3 of the population want Gary Johnson in the presidential debates. And the debate commission is dragging its feet because the debate commission is composed of Democrats and Republicans. And they don't like competition. That's why they govern so much alike. But the more options you have, the better it is for you. The Libertarian Party is on the ballots in all 50 states, Washington, D.C., and everywhere where the presidential election is held. Everywhere. The Green Party is, if I remember correctly, at 34 states. In theory, it's possible for the Green Party to win the presidential election. They have just enough states to do it. They'd have to sweep every state they're in. Libertarians, we're in all 50 states. We can take the presidential election on the same terms as the Democrats and the Republicans. We can take 270 electoral votes. We can honestly take the presidency. And you would know more about the Libertarian Party if the news media would tell you more about the Libertarian Party. Of course, they say you're not interested in the Libertarian Party. But you're not interested because they don't tell you about us. So in closing, let me remind you, unless you honestly look at both sides of an issue, you don't have an opinion, you're a parrot. Go to www.lp.org and look at the libertarian positions and see how many you agree with. Thank you.